Let's start today's class. Yes, everyone, switch on your video quickly. Let's start today's class. Today we'll be aiming to complete this chapter in this class, okay? So you people are going to have to keep up with the speed also. And in the meantime, if you have any doubts, you're going to ask your doubts. If anything is there that troubles you, you can ask, okay? No hesitation required. All right. So up
Okay,
until
ma'am, I'll ask you. Nothing.
All right, so now we are going to discuss about cytoplasm. See, whenever we talk about a cell, so we have talked about the membrane of the cell and we have talked about the nucleus, right? Now, the whole entire cell towards the inner side is filled with a fluid-like substance. And this fluid-like substance is what we call as the cytoplasm. Okay, have you people heard about cell organelles? Cell organelles, right? So cell organelles are present in the cytoplasm only. There are various kinds of cell organs that will be, yes,
Ma'am, can you explain it again?
sure,
I
sure.
didn't hear.
I'll explain it again. Yeah, you switch on your video. All right. See, I was saying that up until now, we have discussed about the cell and its walls, right? Plasma membrane is there. And if it is a plant cell or a bacteria, we have the cell wall also present. Now, apart from that, we have discussed the nucleus, right? Which is the control house of the cell. Now, inside the cell, there is a fluid-like structure, which we call as the cytoplasm. Okay, it is a fluid-like structure present inside like the cell throughout. And this cytoplasm is that you can say it is one of the most important components of the cell. Why? Because many activities are performed here, meaning the cell's activity, they are performed inside the cytoplasm itself. Talking about the cytoplasm, so it is the lightly stained area of the cell. Just like how we saw nucleus is a very darkly stained area. In contrast to that, cytoplasm is a lightly stained area of the cell. Now, it is the fluid which is present inside the plasma membrane and the nucleus along with all the cell organelles. Okay, the nucleus along with all the cell organelles, they are present in the cytoplasm. So the cytoplasm consists of all of the cell organelles. And you people understand that every cell organelle has their own function to perform.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happens is that the cell organelles are like they'll be performing their own functions, and we'll say that the cytoplasm is actually the site or the arena of all cellular activities, meaning every single activity that the cell will be performing, it will happen in the cytoplasm. So this is all there is to know about cytoplasm. Any doubts, Rul?
No.
No, ma'am.
Cytoplasm is clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Now we are going to start talking about the cell organelles. See, cell organelles. Organelles are the tiny organ-like structures that are present inside the cell. Each of them have their own functions to perform. Okay. So some of the most common types of cell organelles, the first one is mitochondria. Then there is Golgi apparatus. There is endoplasmic reticulum, plastids, and lysosome. So these are the different kinds of cell organelles that are present. Now talking about the cell organelles, they are responsible for carrying out crucial function in the cell. Meaning every cell organelle has their own function to perform. Just like how in a group project, whenever you people get a group project, some student is responsible for the decoration, right? Some student is responsible for gathering all the informations from the internet. Someone is responsible for writing it down, right? So everyone has a different function to perform, isn't it? Same way, the cell organelles, they also have their own functions to perform. Now, the first one that we are going to talk about is the endoplasmic reticulum, also known as ER. Now, the word endo means inside. The word plasmic is referring to the plasma membrane, right? And then the reticulum means net-like structure. So, this net-like structure is present inside the cell, meaning enclosed inside the plasma membrane. Now, this is a large network of membranous, like membrane-bound tubes and sheets. So, reticulum means a net-like structure, sort of like this. Okay, it is a large structure and it is present inside the cell. Now, it can be round, it can be long, or it can be oblong. So, it can vary depending upon the organism, right? It can be long, round, and oblong. Talking about the structure of the endoplasmic reticulum. So the structure of the endoplasmic reticulum is almost similar to plasma membrane. Now, endoplasmic reticulum can be of two types depending upon the presence or absence of ribosomes. Okay, depending upon the presence or absence of ribosome, the endoplasmic reticulum can be of two types. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum when ribosome is not present, rough endoplasmic reticulum when ribosomes are present. Okay, and in general, all of you must remember that what is the function of ribosome? Protein synthesis. It makes the protein that the cell requires. So protein synthesis is the function of the ribosome. Any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Very good. Now see, the ribosomes, they are of two types, 70S and 80S. 80S ribosome is found in eukaryotic organism, whereas 70S is found in prokaryotic organism. Always remember. Okay. Now, so if I say that the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it has ribosomes present on it, then what do you think will be the function of rough endoplasmic reticulum? Hmm? Tell me. If I am saying that the rough endoplasmic reticulum has ribosome on it, then what will be the function of rough endoplasmic reticulum? Who will answer?
To provide protein to the plant.
Yeah, it does protein synthesis, isn't it? Because ribosomes are present. Is this thing clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now talking about the function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Now, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it helps in the manufacturing of fat or lipid molecules. So it synthesizes, it does not synthesizes protein, but rather it synthesizes fats molecule, lipid molecule. Okay. Now, in general, the function of the endoplasmic reticulum is packaging and transportation. It does the process of packaging and then it transports the material. If it is a rough endoplasmic reticulum, so it will transport and package the protein. If it is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, then it will transport and package the lipids or fat. So this is what endoplasmic reticulum in general does. Now talking about membrane biogenesis. See, we know that protein and lipid, both the things are synthesized in the cell, right? One is synthesized by the small smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and the other is synthesized by the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So protein and lipid, they are needed for the formation of cell membrane. So whenever cell membrane or plasma membrane, it is the same thing. So whenever they are formed or made or synthesized with the help of protein and lipid, then this whole entire process is called as membrane biogenesis. Clear? Membrane
Yes, ma'am.
biogenesis.
Membrane biogenesis.
Yes. Clear to you all?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Very good. Now talking more about the functions of the endoplasmic reticulum. So the first is that transportation of cellular materials between cytoplasm and nucleus. Why? Because it can process and it can package materials. So it can transport the materials. Then it functions as the cytoplasmic framework, meaning it provides a little framework to the cell, and it also provides the surface area. It, like for example, foldings. You people know how the small intestine looks like in our body. It is folded, right, like this.
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever we fold something, we increase the surface area. So just like that, since endoplasmic reticulum is present in a lot of folds and it is a network like structure, so it also provides the surface for biochemical activities. Apart from all of that, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it also detoxifies poisons and drugs in the case of vertebrates. So smooth endoplasmic reticulum does the process of detoxification, meaning getting rid of the toxins from the body. Now, this is for higher organisms, not lower organisms. Does anyone have any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
All right, very good. Now, talking about Golgi apparatus, this is the next cell organ. So, Golgi apparatus was actually discovered or described by a person whose name was Camillo Golgi. And that is why this organelle has been named after him, Camillo Golgi. Now, Golgi apparatus, it is a membrane-bound cell organ. Okay, membrane-bound, what is the meaning of membrane-bound? Who's going to explain?
Ma'am, it is covered by a membrane.
Very good. Anything that has a membrane surrounding it is membrane bound, isn't it? Now, membrane bound can be unit membrane bound, meaning one membrane is present, or it can be double membrane bound, meaning two membranes are present. Okay, now the Golgi apparatus, it has cisterns present in it, meaning infoldings. Again, if I say that infoldings are present, then what is the function of infolding, students? Tell me the function of infoldings. What would be the function of infoldings? Say, see, wherever folds are there, it will increase the surface area. Clear?
Ma'am, it will decrease the surface area in folding.
Increase.
Yes, ma'am.
It will always increase the surface area. Okay?
In foldings.
Yes. Infoldings or anything that is present in like a network structure, a reticulum structure, or a folded structure. Okay? Now talking about the functions of the Golgi apparatus. So what it does is that it does the process of packaging and it does the process of dispatching the products which are synthesized by the endoplasmic reticulum. For example, endoplasmic reticulum can either synthesize lipids or it can synthesize proteins, right? So after synthesizing that, the endoplasmic reticulum sends it to the Golgi apparatus. Okay. Now, what does the Golgi apparatus do? It does packaging. It packs it and then it dispatches it wherever it is required. Clear?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is the first thing. Then after that, it also performs the function of storage. It performs the function of modification, meaning the protein that came from the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it can modify that protein. Okay, enhance its property. It can store that protein and it also does the process of packaging. Clear? This much is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Now, apart from that, they are also responsible for the formation of simple sugars from complex sugars. And they are responsible for the formation of lysosomes. See, students, lysosome is another cell organelle. Okay, it is the name of one more cell organelle. But this cell organelle is being made by the Golgi apparatus. Always remember this. Okay.
So, ma'am,
Now,
all the organelles are made by Golgi apparatus.
only lysosome. See, because for
Okay,
example,
ma'am.
yeah, if this part is the Golgi apparatus, okay, and here is the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so endoplasmic reticulum, it made protein, it made lipid. Okay, now this will go to the Golgi apparatus. Now Golgi apparatus will start packaging it, right? And it will start making them in the form of vesicles, meaning storage pods. And when they will release it, these are known as lysosomes. So this is how Golgi apparatus is making lysosome, which is another cell organ. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, from that time, we are saying Golgi apparatus, Golgi apparatus. Remember one thing always, that if you say Golgi apparatus, then you are talking about animals. Okay? And instead of Golgi apparatus, if you say dictyosomes, then you're talking about plants. So Golgi apparatus, if it is present in plants, we'll not call it Golgi apparatus, we'll call it dictyosomes. Clear? It just has a different name.
Yes, ma'am.
The function and everything is same. Any
Yes, ma'am.
doubts up until now? Golgi is clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Very good. Now coming on to mitochondria. How many of you know the common name of mitochondria?
Powerhouse of the cell.
Powerhouse of the cell. Even the person who hasn't had science in his or her background, they also know that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. So always remember that. Okay. Now the reason comes, why do we call it as the powerhouse of the cell? Why not something else? We call it the powerhouse of the cell. Why? Because it synthesizes ATP. Okay, it synthesizes what? It synthesizes ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. And this ATP is the energy currency of our cell, meaning wherever our cell would require energy, wherever any process in our body requires energy, so during that time, ATP will be synthesized. And this ATP will be synthesized from where? So from mitochondria. So that is why we call mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell. It provides power. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, okay. Now talking about mitochondria, so it has a double membrane structure. Double membrane means one will be outer membrane, one will be inner membrane, isn't it? Just like how nucleus had two membranes. Now see, the shape of the mitochondria, again, it varies a lot. In some organism, it is rod shaped, some is sausage shaped, some have circular or discoid. So from organism to organism, the shape varies, but mostly the mitochondria is in this shape, right? The sausage shape. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now always remember, I told you that mitochondria is double membrane structure. So this structure that I've drawn, this is the outer membrane. Now, if I ask you all, is this outer membrane continuous or discontinuous? What would your answer be? Is it continuous or discontinuous?
This continues.
Continuous.
Okay, if you are saying continuous, then tell me why. And you are saying discontinuous, then also tell me why. Tell me the reason. Who is saying discontinuous? Ishad, you are?
No, ma'am.
Then who said discontinuous? Like whoever said, tell me what was your thought. And whoever said continuous, you also tell me your thought. Hmm? say, students, you can speak. It's okay. Even if you are wrong, it's fine. You're here to learn, to speak. Why discontinuous? I just want, huh? Say.
Ma'am, it is continuous because there is no space between them.
Okay. And why, who said discontinuous? I did not notice it that time. Who said? Honestly, you tell me. It's all right. No one said discontinuous. See, it is right. Outer membrane of the mitochondria is continuous. What is the meaning of continuous? Something that does not stop, right? So if I start from here and if I want to end, I directly end at this point. So this is continuous. It has no interruptions anywhere. Okay. Now, if we talk about the inner membrane, so it is in this form. Now, would you call the inner membrane continuous or discontinuous?
Continuous.
No, it's discontinuous. Inner membrane is discontinuous. Outer membrane is continuous. Now, can you see ridges? Isn't it? Can you see that in the outer membrane? There is a difference between this and this, isn't it? Which one is continuous? This one is continuous, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so this is the like thought process behind it. So talking about the outer membrane, so it is continuous, and the inner membrane, it has folds present. And these folds are what we call as cristae. Okay, the name of the folds are cristae. And if I say that the folds are present, then what will be the purpose of the folds? Why would the folds be there? Tell me,
Ma'am,
please.
in the
Yes?
ma'am, in
Yeah, it is there in the inner membrane. But why is it there? Like, there may be a reason, isn't it? I told you, wherever folds are there, what do the folds do?
ma'am, increase the surface of area.
Exactly, increase the surface area. So that is what these folds also do. So the inner membrane, they have many folds called as the cristae. And what they do, which increase the surface area for ATP production. So the folds, they provide much more, you can say, surface area, so that more and more ATP synthesis can be done. Okay. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Honestly,
No.
it's clear to you all, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Now see, the outer membrane is porous to facilitate the process of diffusion. Okay, even though this is continuous, but it has pores present, tiny, very tiny holes. Why? So that molecules can transfer across it. That's it. Like those holes doesn't mean that it is discontinuous, but it does the process of diffusion. Everyone remembers what diffusion is?
Yes, ma'am.
So these porous outer membrane, what does it do? It helps in the diffusion process. Now, all the energy is provided by the mitochondria. Always remember, the mitochondria is the only cell organelle which will give us energy whenever we need. And how does it do that? It does it by ATP synthesis. So whenever we require energy, the mitochondria synthesizes it for us. Another point to remember, that aerobic respiration, this is a kind of respiration that happens in the presence of oxygen. Just remember that the aerobic respiration, it will take place in the mitochondria. It occurs in the mitochondria. Clear? So mitochondria is performing two functions for us. The first function it is doing ATP synthesis. The second function it is doing is aerobic respiration. Always remember, it does two things for us. Now I'll tell you a very unique fact about mitochondria. Do you people know that the cell has ribosomes present? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Ribosomes are present in the cell, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If I say that, if I talk about this thing, what is it?
DNA.
I know.
Deoxyribonucleic
Yes,
acid.
deoxyribonucleic acid. This is okay. Where do you find this? Where can I find this? In the cell?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean
Where
chrome.
can I find it?
In the chromosomes.
Okay, they are present on the chromosome. And where are the chromosomes present?
In the cell.
Where in the cell? Students, where are the
In
chromosomes present?
mitochondria.
No, the main site of presence of chromosome. Where is it present? I just taught you in the previous class.
Ma'am, chromatic.
Nucleus.
Chromatic.
Nucleus. Nucleus has the chromatid and the chromosome and everything, and then that is carrying the DNA. But as a whole, it is present in the nucleus, right? So
Yes,
our
ma'am.
nucleus has it like the DNA present in it, right?
Yes.
And it is the only, you can say, part of the cell that will have the DNA present. And in the cell, there will be the presence of ribosome. What is the function of ribosome?
To provide protein to cell.
Protein synthesis. But the most unique feature about mitochondria is that the nucleus has its DNA, but the mitochondria has its own DNA and it has its own ribosomes present inside. So it has no, like you can say, the DNA which is present inside the nucleus, it's there, it will be there. But apart from that, mitochondria having its own DNA, it has its own ribosome. So if something has its own DNA means it can divide on its own, right?
Yes, ma'am.
If something has its own ribosome, then will mitochondria be dependent on the cytoplasmic ribosome? Will it be dependent on that? Yes or no?
Can you see again?
Can I say again? I'm asking, mitochondria has its own ribosome, right? So will it be dependent on the cytoplasmic ribosome?
No, ma'am.
No. Is this clear to all? Why will it not be dependent? Astitva, tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It won't be dependent as like it has its own ribosomes, and also, as we know, like ribosomes help in,
Yes, you are
on.
right. Say protein synthesis.
Yes, ma'am. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, proteins. It helps in process of protein
Yes.
synthesis. Yes.
So since it has its own ribosome, it will not be dependent on the nucleus or the ribosomes which are present in the cell. So this is the reason why the mitochondria and one more cell organelle which is known as chloroplast. These two cell organelles, they are known as semi-autonomous, meaning they can regulate things on their own. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
They can
Yes, ma'am.
manage things on their own.
Yeah, they can manage their things because they have their own DNA and they have their own ribosome. So they are very independent. They are
And
not
do
so
they,
dependent on the
ma'am, do they have own chromosomes?
yeah, they do.
Okay.
But whenever you're writing about mitochondria, don't write that they have their own chromosomes because chromosomes are actually present inside the nucleus. DNA strands, you can say in the case of mitochondria, chromosomes are not present as such, rather DNA is present. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
So this mitochondria is clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes,
Very good.
ma'am.
Now we'll talk about the plastids. See, plastids are one of the most important cell organelles of the plants. Okay, it is one of the most important cell organelle of the plant. It is a double membrane structure and all the plants and the algae, they contain the plastids, meaning they have the plastids present in them. Will the human cell or the animal cell have plastid?
No, ma'am.
No, never. It is not possible. Now, talking about the plastids, so they are of two types, chromo and leuco. Chromoplast and leucoplast. Chromo means colored. So those plastids that have color in them, we'll call it as chromoplast. And those plastids that are colorless or whitish in color, we'll call them as leucoplast. So chromoplast and leucoplast are the two types of plastids that are present in the plant or the algae. Now, chromoplast, it contains, if the chromoplast is containing the green color pigment, which is known as chlorophyll, right?
Or
Then
chlorophyll.
this
Yes.
chromoplast will not be called as chromoplast, it will be called as chloroplast. If it contains the green color pigment called as chlorophyll. And all of you know that chlorophyll is very, very necessary for photosynthesis,
Yes,
isn't
ma'am.
it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, who can tell
Yes,
me
ma'am.
why is it so necessary for photosynthesis? Does anyone have any idea about that?
To prepare food,
But what does it do that it
it
is so
traps the
important?
sunlight.
Hmm?
It traps the sunlight.
Very good. The chlorophyll is responsible for the absorption of light. Okay, that is why it is very important for photosynthesis. Clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
My class is really smart. All of you know a lot of things, huh? Very good. So happy. All right. Moving forward. See, the chloroplast, meaning the green color plastids, they have some other colors other than chlorophyll. We know that chlorophyll is the greenish color pigment, but apart from that, there is one orange color pigment present. We call it as the carotenoid. And then there is a yellow color pigment. We call it as the xanthophyll. So carotenoid, xanthophyll, chlorophyll. These are the major pigments that are found in the plants. Out of these three, chlorophyll will be the highest in number because plants need to do photosynthesis. And we have seen that most of the plants are green in color. Almost all the plants are green in color, right? So why are they green? Because they have chlorophyll. Now we have talked about the colored plastids. Now let us talk about the colorless one, right? The leucoplast. If it is colorless and if it has no pigment, then what does it do? So if it, yeah, it is sure that it doesn't have any pigment. So what is it doing? It is doing the process of storage. So it stores starch, it stores oil, it stores protein granules. So for the plant, the leucoplasts are performing the function of storage.
They
Clear?
are like the storage house.
Yeah, sort of like a storage house, they do the process of storage. Now, there is a part in the plastid or chloroplast, which we call as the stroma. Just like it is a space which is present inside the chloroplast. Now, just like mitochondria, chloroplasts, they are also known as semi-autonomous. Why? Because they also have their own DNA and they also have their own ribosome. That is why they are also semi-autonomous. So, in the whole entire, you can say world, okay, whole entire world. If we talk about plants, if we talk about animals, so out of them, only two cell organelles have their own DNA and they have their own ribosome. And that is mitochondria and chloroplast. Only these two. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now we'll talk about vacuoles. Now see, vacuole is a unit membrane structure. Unit membrane means only one membrane is present. Okay. And they are the storage bodies which are found in the cell and they do the process of liquid storage, solid storage. So anything that has to be stored in the plants, mostly they are present in the vacuole. So vacuole is performing like a store room. It is a storeroom. Okay. Now the vacuoles in the case of animals, they are very small and temperate. Always remember, animals do not have permanent vacuoles. So they have temporary vacuoles. Whereas the plants, they have big size vacuoles and they are permanent vacuoles. And they occupy, this is very important, what volume of the cell is occupied by the vacuole? So 50 to 90%. See, this is the cell of a plant and vacuole is present like this. Imagine 50 to 90% of the space is taken by the vacuole. Clear?
Ma'am, so ma'am, so the amoeba also have the same vacuole?
Amoeba.
Yeah.
Amoeba have contractile vacuole. Have a vacuole when they are eating. They
Okay.
don't have a permanent vacuole as such. But plants, they don't have the vacuole for eating. They have the vacuole for storage purpose. Clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Now, as I told you that the vacuole will have one membrane surrounding it, and that one membrane has a name, a very unique name, which is known as tonoplast. So the one membrane of the vacuole, it has a name and it is called as tonoplast. And how much volume does it occupy? So it occupies 50 to 90%. This is asked in MCQs many times. Okay. So any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
No,
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Who can tell me who discovered the Golgi apparatus? Who remembers?
Golgi.
Who Golgi? Mariam Golgi
Camilo
or
Golgi.
Tejas Golgi?
Chemo.
Camilo Golgi.
Hmm?
Pino Golgi.
What?
Something like that.
Camilo Golgi.
Camilo Golgi. Very good, Ramesa. Camilo Golgi discovered the Golgi apparatus, right? Don't just write Golgi or your name with Golgi. It is Camilo Golgi. All right. Okay. Which endoplasmic reticulum has ribosome present on it?
Ma'am, rough.
Very good. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Then tell me, what is Christie?
Ma'am, the folds in the mitochondria.
Very good. Which layer of the mitochondria folds and forms the Christie? Outer or inner?
Inner.
Inner.
Very good.
Inner.
Inner. Very good. Okay. Now tell me the lysosome, which is a cell organelle, it is formed by which cell organelle? Who remembers this? The lysosome. They are a cell organelle. Then who forms the lysosome? Astitva, tell me. Which
Yes, ma'am.
organelle forms the...
Lysosomes.
Yeah.
Uh, ma'am, lysosomes are formed by uh,
Ma'am, Golgi apparatus.
Golgi.
Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus forms the lysosomes. Okay. All right. Very good.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Who gave the cell theory?
Ma'am, Slade
And
and
Sheldon and Scott.
Who added the third point in the cell theory?
Rudolf Virchow.
Rudolf Virchow. Very good. Okay. Which organism is an exception to the cell theory?
Virus.
Virus.
Viruses. Okay. Why?
Yes.
Because it's not living, it's not truly living.
Very good. It's not truly living. Okay. Who discovered the first living cell?
Swan.
Robert Hooke.
Robert Hooke.
Robert
No,
Hooke.
not Ron Hooke.
Robert Hooke.
Living cell. Living cell.
Leeuwenhoek. Leeuwenhoek.
Anton
Leeuwenhoek.
Leeuwenhoek.
Very good. Anton von Leeuwenhoek. Robert Hooke discovered the first
Dead
cell.
cell.
It was a dead cell. Okay. All right. Okay. Why do we stain the cells?
Why do we stand to see
To
the
see.
cell?
To visualize them. Okay. Very good. Okay. Out of all the parts of the cell, which part of the cell takes up a lot of stain? It
Nucleus.
gets Okay. And which part takes the least amount of state?
I think the cytoplasm.
Cytoplasm.
Very good. Cytoplasm. Very good. You people pay attention in the class. I'm so happy. Like, there are many students who are senior to you and they don't pay this much attention. Very good. All right. Now coming on to the next, that is lysosome. So see, lysosomes, they are vesicle-like structures. And what do? They contain enzymes that are hydrolytic in nature. Okay, so they have enzyme containing properties and they have hydrolytic enzyme, meaning they cause digestion of many things. Okay. So with this, we have actually completed the different types of cell organelles that are present in our cell. Does anyone have any doubts?
Ma'am, when
No,
will
ma'am.
we note down these points?
I'll give you time. I'll give you time. See, I wanted to complete the chapter so that all of you can start the next chapter, isn't it? The
Okay.
tissue chapter. So I will complete all of this and then I'll give you time. And if you are not able to complete the notes in today's class, don't worry about it. Till the point that you have written, after that, I will give you the PDF of it. Okay.
ma'am.
But one thing you have to remember, when you people will get the PDF, all of you students, the 4 students in my class, once you get the PDF, you have to take down the notes. You can't use that PDF to study. Okay. Why? Because we take the PDF and then we never open it. It's like I have also done this. I've taken many PDFs, but I've never studied it once. So you can only remember the things when you write them by yourself. Once you write them by yourself, you will never forget it. And you people are very sharp. I've seen that. So once you get the PDF, what will you do?
Write it down.
We'll note
Right.
down
We
in
will write
the
it.
book.
We'll write it. Yeah,
Very good.
right.
It is for your benefit only. Okay. Now we'll come on to cell division. Now you know that the new cells are formed from the old cells, right? I'm saying Rudolf Virchow told us this. So if the cell is forming the new cell, then there must be some kind of division happening. And that is what we call as the cell division. Now, why do we need the cell division?
To
How
form
many
a
of
new cell.
Yeah, to form the new cells. Now, you people have noticed that whenever you get a scratch or any kind of wound, after a few weeks, that new skin is formed, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that new skin is formed because cell division took place in your body. So, cell division is required to replace the old and dead cells, and it is used to form gametes. So, first reason is that it is required to replace the old damaged cells. The second reason is that it is used to make gametes. Now, gametes are the cells that are used for reproduction, the sexual reproduction. Okay. When you people will go in class 10, you people will understand more about this. But for now, just remember that the cell division is used to form gametes and it is used to repair the old damaged tissues or cells. Now, the cell division, it is of 2 types, mitosis and meiosis, 2 types of cell division. Now, mitosis is the cell division in which one cell divides and forms 2 daughter cells. Okay, these 2 are the daughter cells. Now, here the mother cell and the daughter cell will have the same number of chromosomes. Like, for example, if the mother cell had 2n chromosome, the daughter cell will also have 2n chromosome. And this is the reason why mitosis is also known as equational division, because the mother and the daughter cells, they have the same number of chromosome. Okay. You people do you know how many sets of chromosome humans have?
23. Yeah.
Ma'am, 22 pairs.
46.
22 pairs.
23 pairs. 23
20.
pairs.
Or 26.
We have in totality
Totaling
46 chromosomes, okay, in our body. So you know that the chromosomes are present in number, right? So the number of sets of chromosomes, for example, if I talked about us humans, so we have 23 pairs, right? Meaning 2 sets are there, isn't it? Then only it becomes 46 in total. So the number of sets of chromosome in any organism is called as ploidy. If we have 2 sets of chromosome, So that is diploidy, meaning two sets are there. If any organism has one set of chromosome, then it is haploidy. Haploidy means one. So haploidy is denoted by N and diploidy is denoted by 2N. Okay. So here, if the mother is diploid, meaning has two sets of chromosome, then the daughter cells, two daughter cells are formed and both will be diploid. Is this thing clear to you all?
Ma'am,
Haploid,
can a
diploid?
mother,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, can a mother cell
Yes,
have more than
yes,
two?
ma'am. Yes,
What? What are you saying? Can the
Ma'am,
daughter
can
cell?
mother cell have more than two
No. If we are
chromosomes?
talking about mitosis, it will not have more than two.
Okay.
If like it will have the exact same number of chromosome, just like the mother cell. If the mother cell has 3N, the daughter cell will also be 3N. If the mother cell has 4N, then the daughter cell will also be 4N. So always remember the number of chromosome will be identical in the case of mitosis. And this is the reason why we are calling this division as equational division. Okay. Now
Yes, ma'am.
talking about the functions. So why does mitosis happens or why do we need? So it helps in growth and it helps in repairing of tissues. Two things, the most important. After that comes another division which is known as meiosis. Now meiosis is used to make gametes. Here one mother cell divides into four daughter cells. Here one divides into four daughter cells. And now do you see the difference, students? The mother cell is 2N, but the daughter cell is N. Each of the daughter cell is N, meaning how like they have the half the chromosome of the mother cell, isn't it? Right? So this type of division wherein the daughter cells have half the number of chromosome, we call it as meiosis or reductional division. Why? Because here the number of chromosome gets reduced. Is this clear?
Yes, half.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
ma'am.
get half. Clear to you all, right? You get the concept behind it?
Ye-
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Everyone is getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Very good. Now, the number of chromosomes in the daughter cell is half the number of chromosomes in the mother cell. So, we call it as the reductional division. Now, remember that meiosis takes place in two steps. Like there is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. But mitosis does not take place in two ways. So, when the first meiosis happens, like one cell is there, this cell undergoes meiosis 1. So, two daughter cells are formed. Okay. Then these two daughter cells will undergo meiosis 2 and lastly, four daughter cells are formed. So, always remember at the end of meiosis, four daughter cells are formed. Okay. This
Okay.
thing is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I hope
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is not confusing you all, right? Is it
No, ma'am.
confusing you?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. So with that, students, we have actually completed the chapter. We have finished the cell chapter. Okay. So now you people will note it down. Now, first you tell me, do you have any doubts? Any part?
No, ma'am.
Everyone has no one has any doubts.
No,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
I
No,
have
ma'am. Understood.
doubted that meiosis.
Yes?
Ma'am, I have doubted that meiosis takes place in two sets.
See, meiosis is it is one division. But let's just say half of meiosis happens in one part and another half happens in another part. So that is why meiosis is divided into two parts because it is a very big division, right? So it happens in two parts. So one cell, for example, I said that one cell gave rise to four daughter cells, isn't it? This is what I said.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you
Yes, ma'am.
look how these four daughter cells are formed, for example, this one cell is there, it it undergoes meiosis 1. Okay. So after meiosis 1, it will form two daughter cells. Then these two daughter cells will undergo meiosis 2, both of them. So this will form two daughter cells and this will form two daughter cells. So as a whole, this is happening what? Meiosis is happening. So as a whole, we have four daughter cells. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So now the whole chapter is completed. Now you people can take down the notes. Try to write a little faster so that you can write a lot in the class. And if anything, like we'll see if anything is left, and I'll give you the notes from there. So you have to write from cytoplasm or from the differences.
Ma'am, from the differences we got out.
Okay, now you people can switch off your videos and write down comfortably.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes, tell me. Who has a doubt?
Ma'am, in prokaryotic cell,
Hmm.
you have written size is very small, 1 to 10. What is that? UN.
No, no, that is mu. It is
Hmm.
the symbol for micro.
Okay. Micrometer.
Yes, micro.
Okay. Thank you.
Done, ma'am.
Ma'am, just a
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
The class will end after 30 minutes, Tejas.
Ma'am, what is after that side?
You can write site oblique arena. 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 Just like how boxing arena is there, where boxing happens.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Same
ma'am.
arena.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm done. I'm done.
Everyone is done, students?
Ma'am, just a minute, just a minute.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, done.
Ma'am, what is that after long round L?
It is oblong. Oblong. Oblong.
And what is the meaning of oblong?
It is like elongated structure.
Okay. Ma'am, what is the smooth ER and
Yes, smooth ER. Smooth
yes, ma'am.
endoplasmic reticulum.
Ma'am, what's the example?
Example is not there. I have here this thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this means absent. You can say that ribosome absent.
Okay.
And in the case of rough endoplasmic reticulum, ribosome
It's
present.
present. Ma'am, then.
Everyone's done?
No, ma'am, almost.
Okay.
Ma'am, there will be any assignment after the class?
Yes, after the class is over, like after a little while, because I have another class after this. So I'll like provide you by the end of the night. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, completed.
Then, ma'am. Ma'am, then.
Yes, everyone's done.
Yes, ma'am, completed.
Okay, very good.
Ma'am, what is BW?
That is between. Between. Okay, you don't
Okay,
write B
ma'am.
slash W, you write between.
Okay. Between. Ma'am, done. Ma'am, done.
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Are you done, students?
No, just 1 second. Hmm. Done, ma'am.
All right, students. So let's just keep it till here only. And like the chapter is completed. So I will give you